Hi everyone, welcome in or welcome back to Between Realms Tarot. Today's pick a card love reading is going to be about what is blocking this connection from moving forward. It might be maybe avoidance of action from your person's part or from your part. It may be lack of emotional vulnerability. It may be lack of communication, or it might be just neither you or your person want actual commitment or movement in this connection. Before we start the reading, I want to remind you that if you'd like to book a private reading with me, or if you'd like to support me and my channel, you will find all the details in the description box below. Now let's head to the reading. For today's reading, I have 3 AI generated images for 3 crystals representing the 3 piles. And so for pile number 1, we're going to have the smoky quartz heart-shaped crystal. For pile number 2, we're going to have the hematite heart-shaped crystal. And for pile number 3, we're going to have the howlite heart-shaped crystal. As usual, take a deep breath, relax, let all of those thoughts and worries go, and try to listen to that inner subtle voice that tells you what pile has your answer. You will find the timestamps in the description box below, and if you have picked your pile, let's start your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you have picked the smoky quartz heart-shaped crystal, this is going to be a reading about what is blocking this connection from moving forward. So let's start your reading. Pile number 1. Let's start with the dices here. We have Rahu in the Leo in the 6th house. And so first of all, Rahu being in Leo, which is the North Node being in Leo, immediately points at pride and ego and validation needs. Rahu here shows an energy of obsession or an energy of somebody who's literally Rahu or the North Node is what we feel driven to achieve. And it might come in this very unconscious way. We might feel drawn to things represented by that, by the sign where Rahu or the North Node is placed. And by this by Rahu or the North Node being placed in Leo, there is a conscious or a unconscious obsession almost energy, or we're being guided to explore or to get validation or to validate our own ego and choose the path that satisfies our needs for validation and our pride. And so with Rahu in Leo, it might be about wanting to look powerful, to look in control, to look or to seem to be confident, but also wanting to be the center of attention. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that by the North Node being placed here, the main motive of the person or the connection, or both of you or one of you, you know what is going to happen or what is happening in your relationship by number 1, and your person here or you or both of you might be having this power struggle where both of you or this person or you wants to be seen or wants to be admired, wants to be chosen and seen and chosen for who they are. But placed in the 6th house, this really talks about daily contact or day-to-day matters of relationships, maybe daily behavior, habits, and it also may point into expectations being unfulfilled, especially with the 6th house in here. And so there might be some needs, I want to say, that are being unfulfilled. And I'm not saying that because somebody is not reciprocating or balanced, or somebody is being selfish or taken more than given, but somebody may act always from a place of wanting to be on top, wanting to be in control, and wanting to seem authoritative, or to have authority, or to have the upper hand, and it comes from a place of pride. We see here literally triple Leo energy, because we have the dice is saying Leo energy in here, and we have the Queen of Wands, which is a Leo energy, while the King of Wands is in Aries, and we have the card Don't Let Pride Get in Your Way, full moon in Leo, literally, again. So we have triple Leo energy in here synchronistically, and this really talks about pride being an issue in this connection. Maybe there is, let me not jump into conclusions. Let's go to next card. So with Heart and Garden and Bouquet here, those cards are from Lenormand. And what do we see here with these cards? There is heart, there are definitely feelings and passion here. There is desire, and there is attraction. I want to say there is attraction here with the heart. I feel like your person and you feel seen by each other. I feel like you get, or you grab this person's attention like a lot. I feel like they don't have their eyes on anybody else but you, and I do feel the same is happening from your own side. I feel like you don't have your eyes on anybody but this person. There is really a very deep and intense attraction in here. But the Garden and the Bouquet shows that this connection might be still be going on on a level where with Garden here there is friendship or there is casual dating, but there isn't deep bonding. And it's not because there isn't or there are not emotions, but it's mainly because of pride. There is fear of loss in here, and fear of somebody maybe being betrayed, and that definitely comes from a prideful energy, or somebody not being reciprocated, or somebody not being rejected. And because of that, this connection is being kept at a surface level, because with the Garden it talks about being surface level. It talks about the Garden energy talks about social events, but we do not associate this card with love, so we have the heart, and so that shows a real deep attraction happening. But with Garden and Bouquet, it shows casual moments of attraction, of meeting, but there isn't real bonding. Maybe dating did not go far. Maybe the connection did not really evolve into anything more than attraction. While the heart card here shows deep attraction, and it might be unspoken, or maybe, as I said, it's still surface level, but not because the attraction is surface level. The attraction is actually very deep here with the heart. It's the heart. It's matters of the heart. This is love. This is real care. This is passion. Again, what I see here is that this person really is attracted by you, and it feels like you're not like anybody else they have ever seen or they were ever attracted to. But with Bouquet and Garden, the Bouquet talks about, again, casual moments and moments of very small moves, like maybe very small gestures or appearances, maybe. But Garden, again, it talks about meeting. Maybe there are dates, or maybe this connection is in between a friendship and a relationship, or it's more of a deep crush situation. Going here to the Page of Cups and the Seven of Cups, there are 100% with the Page of Cups here, or the Page of Vessels, the Author here, emotions. But as we know, the Page of Cups is a very new and very fresh, loving energy. It's very shy, it's very unexpressed, or maybe very little is expressed emotionally speaking within this connection. Again, still this shows emotional interest, but it's still a bit immature, because the Page of Cups is a young energy. It's a very light energy. So there is very much emotional interest. Again, also with the Seven of Cups, there is here confusion, or there is immaturity. I want to say that the connection is not seen for what it is truly. There is real love potentially in here. There is already real love, but there is also potential for something more that is not being recognized at all by neither of you. And the Seven of Cups here also talks about bringing confusion, or feeling confusion, and also mixed signals. It also talks about, the Seven of Cups talks about not really recognizing what's true from what is fantasy, what is reality from what is fantasy. And maybe the emotional expression gets lost here within fantasizing. I feel like your person and you maybe feel a lot, but you don't speak it. And there is shyness here. This connection feels very fresh emotionally, so this person might be new. There is a lot of fresh energy within this connection. And so what is blocking this connection within these two cards is very much immaturity. Feelings exist, but they are immature, but also uncertain, and the connection is not being seen for what it is truly. And yeah, like there is confusion, uncertainty, but there is also immaturity. But there is also love. So there is what is blocking this connection here. Going to the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, there is I feel like those are past disappointments, maybe within this connection, if there's not a fresh connection or a new one, but also it's from your or this person's past. There might be, with the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, past disappointments and fear of abandonment. Maybe with the Five of Pentacles, fearing being left behind, or fearing abandonment. And so the blockage here might be that maybe you and this person, or only one of you, you would know pile number one, so take it however it resonates with you. So it might be that some of you might feel, or your person might feel like not ready for love, might not believe this, might feel like it's too good to be true, might not believe that something can come out of this, might just want to keep it at a surface level because it's less hurtful. If you get any confession from this person, it means that a new chapter is starting within this connection that elevates this connection's level. But since there is, if there wouldn't be any emotional expression and it's kept at a surface level, it means that this person won't feel the loss, if there is any loss actually. And so here there is a void, like fear of loss and fear of abandonment and fear of disappointment, that is blocking this connection from moving. So neither you or this person are taking action towards maybe confessing feelings or talking about the future of both of you here. And so because of that, it's not, the connection is not evolving, it's stuck somewhere here within attraction. Maybe it's a crush situation. I feel like this is very much a crush situation, where you observe and they observe you through, or within a friends group, or within maybe a community. And I do feel like this is a crush situation. And then going to the Queen of Wands here and the King of Arrows, or the King of Swords, these are two different energies. While the Queen of Wands is a queen of passion, it's an energy of, I want to say, execution. I know from somewhere that the King is an energy of order. The King is an energy also of making plans, while the Queen is the executor. And so the Queen of Wands really moves with passion. So there is an energy of, like, there are two energies in here, two different energies, and it might be yours and this person's. So one of you here will lead with passion. They will follow their passion. They will confidently speak about their emotions honestly and authentically, and unapologetically speak about their emotions or talk about their emotions and talk about how they feel and what is attracting or attractive to them, and really want to advance within this connection because of attraction. While the other one with the King of Swords here is very judgmental, very practical, very truth oriented. And it's not that the Queen of Wands is not truthful, it's more like the King of Swords would like to lead from a place of logic and from a place of emotional detachment rather than from a place of love or from a place of emotion or from a place of passion. The King of Swords would like to approach things from a place of logic here. So these are two different energies, and it might be that here the connection is requiring movement and authentic expression while it's being approached from a place of logic, maybe from both of your sides or from your person's side or from yours. And so here what is blocking this connection is the connection needing really to be open and needing to be led by the heart, needing to be emotionally expressive, needing to be authentic, the connection needing to be open. I don't mean open, I mean openly admitted and openly worked on. But the King of Swords really approaches things from a place of logic and emotional detachment. It's more like maybe this person would say that I was hurt by love before, and this type of attraction doesn't really bring any fulfillment, and so I would rather avoid it, or I would rather just do what I think is right, because the King of Swords sometimes can be a bit arrogant. And coming back to the Heart and Garden and Bouquet here, again, what is blocking this connection is similar to the Page of Cups and the Seven of Cups, which is there isn't much expression going on, or the connection is being kept at a surface level for a reason, which is here fear of abandonment and fear of disappointment, especially that comes from the past here. So there might be any unexpressed feelings, or I feel like there's something that both of you feels, but there is unexpressed feeling. There are unexpressed feelings in here with the Heart. And also, yeah, there is, the connection, I feel like, again, it really feels like a crush where both of you feel the emotions, but nothing is expressed, nothing is developed, but it is kept safe at the surface level so that this person or you or both of you won't get hurt. Again, I feel like you might be coming from both of your sides, but in a different way. I feel like this person might really not show their emotions or detach when it comes to approaching you emotionally, and that comes from a place of pride, wanting to not be left alone here with the Five of Swords, wanting to not be disappointed, wanting to be confident or to seem confident. But what happens as your response may be that you also won't express any emotions because you want to put up boundaries, because that's not what you deserve. You deserve clear, emotional, authentic expression and validation, and that is totally your right here. So with Omens here, I have intended this card, Omens card number 31, to be your guidance. And this card, Omens, with the hawk here, it talks about omens, it talks about destiny, and it also talks about synchronicities. And so this card specifically asks for you to pay attention to synchronicities, to things that seem repeating, but you don't understand why, or they don't make sense. Maybe it's a number, although that might have a different meaning. But for an example, hearing this person's name again and again many times during the day or every day or something like that, or it might point at that person still thinking of you or feeling, or at that moment maybe energetically in bonded with you. That is not very healthy, to try to read between the lines of what the universe is showing you through the fabric of the energy entanglement. But It's just telling you that those signs that you have been seeing, the things that repeats constantly and they don't make sense, they are actually synchronicities. They are actually signs for you for something. But it's also telling you, the omens card here, it tells that, or it actually reminds you that somebody is trying to get your attention. And I feel like omens here is trying to tell you that this person might try to confess or talk about their emotions, but not really being verbally or really expressive, because the omens talks about this person wanting or trying to talk or to express their attraction towards you, or their feelings towards you, but without words, or indirectly, like in indirect gestures, especially with the presence of the bouquet here. So this person again might try to get your attention, might try to approach you, might try to get closer to you, because they do want that. They do, I want to say that there is an energy of longing here. So they long for you, but they don't really express it, but they might try to approach you indirectly, and that is definitely omens here. This is a guidance here for you, trying to tell you that pay attention to that if that happens. But again, it does not mean that that is something that you should rely on. It's just reminding you or validating your intuition. If your intuition has been telling you that this person is trying to get your attention and to express their attraction towards you, but in indirect ways, and you sometimes see that, and that intuitive nudge tells you that this person is doing that, it's validating you. And if you see synchronicities and immediately you get that, maybe you're a clairvoyant or clairaudient, and you just hear, or you just get this sense, or by maybe you're claircognizant, so you get this sense that this person might be thinking of you at that time, and so it's just trying to validate you. But what I want to say here with this guidance is that you don't have, or you have to put up boundaries here. What you deserve, pile number 1, is clear, direct, authentic emotional expression without pride. Because the pride card tells you that don't let pride get in your way. Literally, that is one of the cards that you got here. And this card says that it might be a guidance for you or for your person, or for both of you. This card says that pride is getting in the way of this situation, and this person might not come towards you and express their emotions directly because they are afraid of disappointment, they are afraid of rejection, and they are afraid of abandonment and of loss, and they rather keep their pride to themselves, keep their need for admiration there to themselves, than to be vulnerable, because that puts them at a sensitive spot. And because of that, this person is not really approaching you, or you are not doing that too. And so it is keeping this connection from moving forward. It is blocking this connection. But yeah, and because of that, omens is trying to tell you that even if you recognize that this person is still approaching you and trying to express their emotions, but not express them verbally, but more approach you in indirect ways, you, even if you are aware of that, you still have to put up boundaries, and you don't have to abandon your self-respect or clarity. You don't have to abandon your own standard on need for clear, authentic self-expression and emotional validation and emotional reciprocity. In here, you can notice the flow and trust in your intuition, but you don't have to abandon yourself. So pile number 1, this was your reading. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please press the like button, comment down below, and subscribe so you won't miss any future readings. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, or if you'd like to support me on my channel, you will find all the details in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching pile number 1, and see you next time. Hi, pile number 2. If you have picked the hematite heart-shaped stone, this is going to be a reading about what is blocking this connection from moving forward. So let's get your reading. Pile number 2. Starting here from the dices, we have Pluto in the 11th house in Libra. And first of all, we can really summarize what is going on within this connection when it comes to blockages, or what is blocking this connection. And we see here Pluto being in Libra in the 11th house as a potential for the connection that is not being worked on. I feel like with Pluto in Libra, there is here, Libra is the sign of relationships. It's the sign of connections and partnerships. And when it comes to Pluto being there, it definitely talks about transformation around this type of partnerships, especially romantic ones. And it talks about also power dynamics within the relationships, and you know, the imbalances within a connection. With the 11th house being there, it maybe shows for some of you that you have met this person online, or within an established community or a friendship group or a shared circle. So Pluto here brings intensity, and there is something that shows that the potential with Libra in the 11th house is very much long-term wish fulfillment. And this does show that there is a very strong potential for long-term wish fulfillment within this connection. But Pluto is there, and that really shows instability. It shows that there's reoccurrent transformation. And so with this transformation here with Pluto energy that is happening within Libra, it might be that there's this constant erosion that is happening within the dynamic. And so, as I said again, despite the potential being present there, instead of it being nurtured, it's being a bit destroyed, bit by bit. I want to say it's an erosion type of transformation or change. It's not that this connection is going to dissolve, but it's just going to be stuck at this level of constant transformation if you do not take direct action, you and this person, to really nurture the potential. Going on to the nothing is yet set in stone mutable moon energy here. As you see in this card here, we see those tides here of the waves of the ocean, like moving constantly. And the card says nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. And it talks about how the situation is very unstable, how the situation is very changeable at this moment. It does not have a fixed outcome. And how the outcome can still be affected by how are you going to take action, or how are you going to react to what is happening, you or your person, pile number 2. And what we see here with key and woman and mice, again, the key talks about the opportunity being there, the chance of opening, or the solution already exists, the answer already being there to this connection. And with the woman here, it talks about emotional awareness, it talks about intuition, maybe receptivity, regardless of what gender you or this person are. There is this definitely established potential, established connection with the key. There is an unlocking of potential. There is a potential that is being there, a seed that must be nurtured. And with the woman, again, there is emotional investment, emotional receptivity, awareness from yours and this person's side. But with the mice here, again, there is loss. The mice talks about loss. It talks about anxiety, stress, and doubts, and things that might again eat away bit by bit at the connection. And it talks about gradual loss. Again, I don't see, with the nothing is yet set in stone here and the whole spread, it doesn't talk about this connection really gradually being destroyed. But I do see that there's a lot of things that are eaten up at this connection. And again, they might be stress and over analysis because of the Hermit card being here. We're going to come to get there. And with the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Stones and the star here, the pole star, as you see here with the Knight of Cups, excuse me, not the Knight of Stones, with the eel here, this sea serpent or sea animal, it's not the sea serpent, that's a mythical creature, but with the eel here, I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, but as you see, it's really flowing within the water, within this river here. And the river, again, it symbolizes the flow that of emotions, of water, of emotions that is natural, that is constant, and that is also, I want to say not stuck. And it flows in this very natural way. And it takes away resentments. It takes like resentments by its flowing. As we do notice that when the river is flowing and the water is not stuck, such as in maybe a swamp, it doesn't feel in the swamp it gets stuck. There are things at the bottom of it, but with the river, really the water flows and it cleans away everything. We do notice that the stones at the bottom of it are clean, and we do notice again this animal in this card is moving. It's flowing within this water, within this moving water, and this is where they feel natural. This is where they feel like them. It's their dharma here. They're just being themselves here. But next to that, we have the Ace of Stones and we have the Star. And this talks about emotional investment with the Knight of Cups. It talks about emotional exchange that is already established. The blockage here is not lack of emotions, but we're going to go there. It's actually, again, over analysis, but because what we see is that if emotions are flowing here with the Knight of Vessels and there is reciprocated emotional give and take, we find that with the Ace of Stones or the Ace of Pentacles, we see here it's literally called the foundation of life. I'm not even kidding. It's called the foundation of life. And this talks about the Ace of Stones is an opportunity to achieve something stable and something long-term. And I do definitely see that the Ace of Pentacles is a very positive card. I feel like it might be one of the most positive cards within the tarot, such as the Sun also, but the Ace of Stones is one of the most positive cards within the minor arcana. And this shows that with this romantic intention here with the Knight of Cups, we can achieve something long-term and something that is leading to long-term wish fulfillment with the Star. It talks about real potential for something stable and something healing, something long-term, something of a long-term promise of hope. But we see next to that, we see the Page of Cups. It's a page here compared to the Knight, which is a higher level in the hierarchy of the suit. And what we see here with the Page of Cups is that the author here is a very romantic, a very joyful animal. The author is an animal that we feel like, that we feel curiosity, we feel affection, and we feel genuine joy. But it's soft and it's hesitant and it's shy. It's a small emotional expression, and we see that it does not flow within the water, such as the Knight of Cups in here. It stands up the hill. It's not a hill, come on. It stands up this stone and it watches the water flow. There isn't much this author in this card is not participating within the water. And we see right next to it, we have the Hermit and the Five of Cups. And so what do we see? That instead of this potential of romantic intention and love manifesting something long-term, because the Star talks about a huge potential, we see that we have the Page of Cups at the 3 cards here, and then the Hooded Man, which is the Hermit. And we have the Five of Cups, and this is emotional hesitancy, this is shyness, this is thinking about emotions instead of manifesting something with them, instead of expressing them, and instead of using them to move forward. There is indecisiveness, there is hesitancy, and with the Hermit there is over-analysis. The Hermit talks about withdrawing, and withdrawing to get some personal wisdom, and analyzing, and understand the situation, withdrawing energy so that we can gain, or we can introspect into the situation. But the type of introspection that is happening here is a Five of Cups type, which is an emotional withdrawal. It's processing emotional disappointment alone, instead of voicing out, instead of talking, retreating and thinking, instead of staying open to emotional expression and open to the potential. And so what is actually blocking this connection is, I feel like with the Pluto in Libra here, I feel like you guys might not really be open towards being emotionally and not authentically expressive. Feelings are present and the potential is there, but it's expressed inconsistently or not expressed as much. There is also here with the Hermit over analysis and instead of communication, instead of, like, if one of you gets hurt, instead of them communicating to the other one their emotional expectations and needs, they just withdraw and process things alone, or there isn't even that much of interaction that makes that happen. And so there is always somebody who's retreating and being sad, maybe from even past experiences, from disconnection, or from past connections, instead of taking a present choice to move forward within this connection. And so the connection is unstable, and what is blocking this connection is that nobody's taking a chance, or nobody's being open, nobody is trusting themselves to elevate or take the potential of this connection and manifest something real with it. And so really I feel like there is also timing that is involved in here, and somebody needs to speak before timing, before the clock ticks and before the opportunity fades, and it feels like the door is still open, but the door might be slightly, or it might be too late a bit later. We need to act while the door is still open. We need to act and not fear, and not let fear dissolve this meaningful connection and this meaningful potential. So yeah, I feel like the potential of this connection is huge. There is Key, the Star, the Woman, the Ace of Stones, and Knight of Cups, and there is Libra in the 11th house, and Pluto. This talks about a very intense and significant partnerships, but instead of it being, taken with power, instead of taking not advantage, it's more like, instead of understanding the power that you have in this connection, somebody is letting their willpower go and is not using it. I feel like somebody's not recognizing, or both of you are not recognizing, that you have the will, that you have the power to speak up, to not let this go, to not give up on each other. But at this current moment, there is hesitancy, there is withdrawing energy, there is fear, there is disappointment, and again, there is genuine connection, but that there is lack of connection. The guidance for you here with Home is, I feel like there needs to be a direct, extremely direct, honest communication. The Home card, it talks about the card 44. I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards within this deck. And we see here 4 feathers. And I do feel like this Home here might be based on emotional fulfillment and a very solid emotional place, and emotional foundation, and a very solid spiritual foundation. and that is also made on very solid and consistent communication. And this card specifically talks about how home is not only family, or the family that we were born within. It's also everything that we feel safe within. It might be a literal house, it might be a friend, it might be a hobby, it might be a job, it might be a creative project, it might be anything. And the home talks about also you will find home anywhere and within anything that you share value with or within. And so this really talks about, this is kind of giving you the guidance, or is trying to tell you to introspect or to align with the things that feel safe. I feel like the guidance here for you, pile number 2, is to directly communicate to this person that you would like to feel safe with them, that you would like to have a home with them, maybe physically, maybe not. I feel like this person represented that at a certain time or at a certain moment, but I feel like right now you're no longer certain about that. And again, there needs to be communication, very direct communication about the fact that you want home, and that you might find it within this person, that you don't want to lose it, or they do need to do that too. But the guidance for you is that only proceed with this connection if it feels like home, if this person is able to understand what feels safe for you, what feels stable, what feels secure. Because I feel like, again, you started this connection from a place of finding value, shared value with this person, pile number 2, and then now there's something that is very unstable, and the outcome is not clear. And truly here, it doesn't show that the outcome is destined or karmic. It doesn't show that the outcome is predetermined. It really shows that the outcome is within your hands, because the potential is there. What is destined is really meeting this person and getting this potential relationship. But what is within your free will is deciding whether this person is somebody who's going to manifest home with you or not. So you really have to set your standards, like talk about this with this person, try to clarify things with them, and I feel like they would say yes. I feel like they would share this value with you, which is feeling safe together, being at home together, and manifesting something long-term, solid and secure together. So that is your reading, pile number 2. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please press the like button, comment down below, and subscribe so you won't miss any future readings. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, or if you'd like to support me and my channel, you will find all the details in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching pile number 2, and see you next time. Hi, pile number 3. If you have picked the Howlite heart-shaped crystal, this is going to be a reading about what is blocking this connection from moving forward. So let's start your reading. Pile number 3. Let's start with the dices. Here we have Pluto in the 5th house in Capricorn. And what does this tell us is that there is, with Pluto being in the 5th house, there is powerful attraction, powerful desire, powerful romance, powerful emotions that you and this person feel towards each other. Because the 5th house is the house of romance, it's the house of heart expression, feelings expression. Pluto being there makes it very intense, it makes it very sudden, very transformative. But being in the 5th house, Capricorn is not much of a 5th house energy, you know. Capricorn is a career energy. Capricorn is a strategic energy. It's a responsible and a high achieving energy. But the 5th house of Leo, it's an energy of art, of admiration, of artistic expression, creative expression. It's children's house. It's the house of also the talents and the romantic expression and dating, casual dating also. And so Capricorn being there adds this layer of responsibility. It adds also this layer of control. And I feel like this connection started at something characterized by this intense, deep, transformative, and really changing, life-changing type of attraction. But when Capricorn, which means I want to say taking accountability for those emotions, and maybe it's time to take things to the next level, things got a bit started collapsing. Things started collapsing. And because Capricorn also here might symbolize fear of vulnerability and emotional power struggles. And so this connection is a connection that changes people. It's a connection that's transformative. It's not a casual connection. It was meant to change both of you, and it was not meant to stay romantic. It was meant to become something more life-changing. And so the block here might be the fear of loss of control of one's own life. Maybe your person or you or both of you fear losing control over your life once feelings are exposed and being fully acknowledged. So there is suppression around emotions and romance, and there is maybe an emotional withdrawal that is happening from both sides. And we can see that here with Work Through Your Fears, new moon in Scorpio. And this new moon in Scorpio starts a cycle of acknowledging one's own fears. And especially in this spread pile number 3, it really talks about fears of emotional vulnerability, especially that this card also might bring up something around dryness when it comes to feelings. There might have been, I feel like maybe you felt a withdrawal from your person's side, and it's like there was everything and then it became nothing. Out of nowhere there was a tower and it collapsed and it caused pain. I feel like it caused both of you pain. It might cause this deep emptiness and feeling of loss and grief here with the Three of Swords. And it's mainly because it's meant to transform, and sometimes when things are not handled carefully, they transform in a very painful way. With Work Through Your Fears here, it also talks about how much a transformation was very needed within this connection, and that there is a rebirth. This card definitely talks about a rebirth, a death and a rebirth. And we're going to get back to that message next, because what we see here with the Lenormand, we see owls and men and rider. And as you see, there is a man, like there is an owl, and then there is a man and there's a rider, and all of them are moving in the same direction. This owls and man cards are really symbolizing observation, maybe spying, maybe strategizing, or making plans and trying to find the perfect plan, or trying to plot for the perfect steps and the perfect timing to take action with the rider here, because the card of the rider, it talks about new opening, a new beginning. The rider card being the card number 1 from the Lenormand, it talks about a new beginning. It's the card that represents it's the most card, oh my god, it's the card that represents beginnings, new beginnings in this specific deck. And so there is some strategizing, and I feel like on the part of the masculine energy in here. And we see here the feminine energy as your guidance card, and that is very interesting. Very interesting here, pile number 3. So because feminine energy, okay, I guess I understand something within here, within this dynamic, because I feel like maybe there was an imbalance of maybe chasing, and the guidance here is to embrace your feminine energy, which is being more receptive, being more chill, being more more understanding of timing and transformation and letting transformation happen. But this does not deny the message of a new beginning and a rebirth happening here. And it's really confirmed by Pluto here and the Tower being things falling. And with Pluto and work through your fears here, New Moon in Scorpio, these two signs, they talk about this cycle of death and rebirth happening. And I do see a rebirth happening even if you don't see it, pile number 3, because the tarot here really shows a situation where things stagnated at a heartache. What we see here with the World Tree and the Two of Cups here with attraction, again, as you see here, there's this heart in flames in here, and it might be something that you resonate with, which is the twin flames concept. And it looks like this connection is a soul level connection. It's a mutual recognition where with the world there is this feeling of this connection could be it. I feel like you and this person might felt like you are each other's person, and it felt like finding the one at the end of the day. It felt like this is the one to you, and from this person's perspective, from your person's perspective, pile number 3, it also felt like this is the one. With the world here, there is this sense of wholeness, of achievement, of completion once you found this person, and they did feel the same. There is reciprocation, there is mutual attraction and feelings being shared in here. But with the High Priestess, there was unspoken or hidden feelings kept secret, or things really, this attraction, it really shows that also there is a strong intuition on both sides, but really there is silence that might hinder the depth or the potential of this connection. And so as you see here, just right next to the High Priestess, there is a Tower. And as we know, the Tower talks about a collapse. It talks about emotional collapse. Also next to that there is a Three of Swords, and so there is 100%, there is a transformation happening. There is something that collapsed, and it might be because emotional expression was stagnant. It was kept hidden, and it was kept in control because of the Capricorn energy in here. And the Hanged Man at the end really shows stagnation. It shows waiting instead of moving, and really maybe delaying rebirth. And that's why I said minutes ago that there is a new beginning, there is a rebirth happening in this connection, even if you don't see it yet, even if you are in this period of pain, of heartache, pile number 3. Even if you are in this waiting period where you feel stagnant with the Hanged Man, in this deck it's called the Mirror. I feel like there is a prayer happening. The Mirror might talk about looking at oneself. I still did not check this deck's guidebook to see what do these cards mean. I just interpret them as the regular tarot, but I will 100% do it. As you see, there is this this floating boat in here on the water, where we see maybe this is somebody who passed away, and in some traditions this is what they do with people who passed away, unfortunately. And yeah, and I feel like this is where the death and the rebirth comes. Like, you see here, there's this, I mean, I felt called to look at this card multiple times, and again, there is a death situation happening in here, and this woman, she is a mermaid or some type of a water creature here. And this bird, again, there seems to be a death situation that as a part of a transformation, but there needs to be a rebirth, but the rebirth is being delayed, it's being held back. And yeah, so that is what is literally blocking this connection. Interesting. So first of all, what is blocking this connection is emotional suppression, what that we see with the dices here, where we see that this person might be, or you, or both of you might be hiding emotions from each other, maybe controlling emotions, maybe out of fear of loss of control or fear of emotional vulnerability. And we see here the seer, there's definitely emotions being hidden, emotions being kept secret, and that is what kept, like, that is what collapsed things, that is what caused this tower energy in here. And so there needs to be a rebirth, and it is coming, it is going to happen with work through your fears and Pluto energy in the mirror, but it is being blocked by emotional suppression. It is being blocked by it's being blocked by fears, and it's stagnating in here. This connection might ask for emotional courage and openness and embracing the other, I feel. And the feelings are real, but there is fear, and it is really a devil energy despite us not seeing the devil. And so I feel like it might be happening on both of your sides, not only them, but I feel like both of you are not being emotionally open. And it might really also trigger, even if this tower did not happen within this connection, it might have happened within past connections, but I do see it happening within this one. This tower happened within this connection. So the overall blockage, or what is blocking this connection, is emotional trauma with the tower and the Three of Swords, but also deep fear of intimacy, fear of vulnerability, and fear of losing control, fear of change because of it, because in the case of emotional expression, fear, and also silence and suspension here. Observation with the owls and men instead of direct actions. And I see that there is a direct action happening, but only after somebody embraces the feminine energy, and this is the guidance energy, and we're going to get there. But also the block exists because control feels safer than openness and observation from afar. Like, this person prefers to observe and plan and strategize to not lose control instead of just taking action from a place of emotional vulnerability and openness. So there is more waiting instead of acting, and that waiting is delaying the rebirth of this connection. And with this guidance card, this card, the feminine energy, it talks about this contrast between the masculine and the feminine. And it talks about how the masculine energy is an energy of a go-getter, while the feminine energy is an energy of stillness. It's an energy of receptivity. And I feel like this is a guidance for you and for this person when it comes to emotional openness, because the feminine energy is also emotional openness. It's also emotional receptivity. It's trust and vulnerability. It's allowing things to unfold rather than forcing outcomes also. And yes, the card talks about how embracing feminine energy is harder, especially after pain. And that is exactly what this reading, or what this energy and what this connection needs. It needs embracing the feminine energy, because it's been the hardest thing to do within this connection, embracing emotions. So feminine energy, maybe if you, pile number 3, was or were open with this person, emotionally speaking, or emotionally, I feel like they might have hurt you. They might have withdrawn their emotions. They might have made you feel, made you grieve and feel loss. And that is not something that is because of you. That is not something to blame you. You cannot, it's like you might be maybe blaming yourself, like, oh, because you embrace this feminine energy maybe in the past. But it did not hurt you. It's not being emotionally vulnerable that hurt you. What hurt you is someone else's choices. And this is very important in here. Maybe the trauma and the thing that is holding this back is lack of emotional vulnerability because of past emotional trauma, because you might have been maybe and this person or one of you vulnerable in the past and it hurt you. And so you might refuse to do that in this one because it feels even more intense, it feels even more risky. And this card really talks about the fact that that was not your fault. It was their choice and it comes from their own pain. And so, yeah, it's really allowing yourself to feel without shame and trusting that things will unfold with emotional vulnerability, being emotionally present without controlling outcomes. So, yeah, pile number 3, this was your reading. I hope it resonates with you. If it did, please press the like button, comment down below, and subscribe. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, or if you'd like to support me on my channel, you will find all the details in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching pile number 3, and see you next time.